Rightio, good people. Welcome back to Podcast with Pari. I know we've taken a bit of a break. We've been readjusting a few things, but we've come back and we're very excited with the next lineup of guests that we've got in store for you today. Get excited for it. Get very excited for it. Actually, we've got a very dear friend of mine. I'd like to call him a brother. Actually, he is my older cousin. Good old Mavros is on the show today. Benji, welcome.
Hey, big guy, thank you. Good to have you. Good to have you. Proud of you, man.
Thank you. So we've got Benji. So we've got Benji joining us here today. But guys, and I say this time and time again, thank you for your support. We really appreciate your support. Please continue to comment and subscribe and share. You know, the more this gets out, the more that we can do. You know, so please please keep spurring the show on and encouraging it. And I promise to do the best from my side to keep delivering good content. All right, let's get into it. Cheers. Rightio, episode 6, Podcast with Pari. Joined here today in the studio of Grosvenor House, Benjamin Mavros. Benji, welcome. How's it?
Thank you, Pari. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're looking good.
Thank you so much.
Chassis is in
out.
order. Eh?
Buddy, what can I say? You know, you gotta eat good to look good.
See, you've been in the gym every morning, Benj, which is good.
I have. I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying to keep as healthy as I can. Keep a clean mental state, healthy body, healthy mind. I have one body,
Yeah, you got to take care of it.
Look after it, yeah.
What sort of inspired this new health kick, you know? Because my gym was quite quiet before you came in, and now the man walks in and it's hey brother, you know?
What inspired it, Pari? I think that I think first when I was little, I used to eat a lot.
Yeah.
So I think I carried a bit of excess weight in my youthful years, and I never forget. I was at St. John's in the grandstands. I was with Michael Craner. I think Jason Gardini was there.
Yeah.
And there was this really beautiful girl, and her name was Sarah Burkett.
Okay.
And I said to Michael Craner, who was going out with Sarah Burkett's best friend. I said to Mike, Mike, please, I really like Sarah Burkett. I don't know how old I was. I was like, 11 or 12, that very fragile age where people's comments would start to affect you mentally.
Okay.
Really get you. And I said to Mike, please, I really like Sarah Burkett. Can you put in a word for me, And it was that awkwardness of that youth, where there'd be a girl section, there'd be the guy section, and then someone had to break the ice. And Mikey went over there and he kind of had a word with her midway. And she looked over at the grandstand. She looked at me. She was definitely in earshot, and she said, "Which one? The really fat one." It's like that was it for me. After that, I went to Falcon, and then obviously Falcon College, being in the bush.
Yeah, Escadini,
the good old Escadini.
Yeah.
That was kids are tough on each other.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, I don't want to be in that mental state of being judged by others, which is probably not a good thing, because you shouldn't really care what others think of you. You know, just live your life and be the best person that you can be. But I said to myself, I'm gonna maintain a good body. So I've always tried to.
It's good.
I always tried to be fit and healthy. Also, it makes you feel great in the morning.
Doesn't it just?
Yeah, I just couldn't recommend to people more. Like when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should do is go and exercise. It just releases this happiness in me.
Like euphoria.
Oh yeah, maybe. And then I want to listen to music on the way home and beat a drum and sing and shout. And it's a beautiful thing.
But you also take a cold shower every morning.
I do.
You jump in the pool?
Summertime, winter, every single morning, because it really awakens.
So this is a cappuccino here for you, Ben.
Oh, thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Thanks very much. So I think that every single morning in the pool. In particular, winter's my favorite. I think that.
Why is that also just a mental freaking? I'm gonna do it whether I feel like it or not.
First of all, I think we've got such little time throughout the day. If you think about how fast life gets, I think when you're younger, life is much slower.
Yeah.
But as you get older, and your days kind of roll into one another, and hours seem like minutes, and your time really flies. When I wake up in the morning, I want to wake up and get into the day straight away.
Yeah.
And if you're kind of like dozing and you're still a bit half asleep, etc., there's a good 30 minutes if you don't.
So you can just watch how to bump this mic, eh?
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to be doing that a lot.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So I think you want to like VUCA quickly, and the best thing is if you dive in cold water, you like awake straight away. So that's what I do every morning of my life.
I think it's
and have a cold shower as well afterwards.
I think it's such a good habit, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Dive in the pool. You've been in that pool with me, yeah?
Yeah. Been in the pool. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of cold in the morning, but I'm starting to adapt to it. We've got a guy in our gym class called Dags, Darren Muirhead. You know Dags,
yeah.
Absolute champion.
Yeah. Great guy.
And Dags, when we're in the shower after the gym, always advocates for a lot of us to take cold showers and have 2 minutes of cold, and it just wires you. Just wires you. It's great. Benj, we had your old boy on. He was our very first pilot episode, and he was great, Uncle Pat. And now we got the son. Now we got the Kotwe. Now we got the youngest boy. But Uncle Pat came on and he gave us a bit of your family lineage and your history, and so obviously you've come from the Mavros family, okay? And Benji Mavros being the youngest boy. Tell me what it was like growing up in the Mavros household with 4 boys and having a Bali and a mum like Auntie Kacha and Patrick, and tell me what it was like growing up. What was your schooling like? You said St. John's, you said Falcon. Did you go anywhere after? So tell me a bit about that.
I think what was it like growing up in that family? So it's a very gregarious family. I mean, if you have a look at our where we come from, so I'm half Greek. Greeks are very communal type people. They're like Zimbabweans, they're very family orientated. So I grew up I was very fortunate to grow up in a home that was always filled with laughter and happiness and love. And we were exceptionally close. I mean, like every single morning on my way to work religiously, I phoned my mother, I phoned my brothers, I don't phone my dad. But I phoned my mom.
Buddy, not getting love.
I know, because you phone me like 30 times a day. Yeah. So I phoned my mum and I phoned my brothers, and I just like catch up, I connect, and that bond is there. So I was extremely lucky.
That's very
with a family that was so full of love. And obviously having three big brothers, I'm the youngest of 4. I think I'd say I had it like relatively easy because they kind of were ahead of me. So I was like, the last born. My mum's.
Were you quite spoiled?
So. No, not spoiled. Like materialistic spoiled, nothing. And it was like a mantra that my family had, that my parents had, which was amazing because what they gave us is they gave us worldly experiences, which I would take any day. Ahead of materialistic items,
I love that.
Which really kind of like enriched, I feel it enriched my whole family, because you could, at the age of 6, I was going to Pakistan, to places like Karachi and Lahore, and Khyber Pass, which is up in the northern province between Afghanistan and Pakistan. I mean, these are all incredibly like rich experiences for a youngster. And we'd go to places like Madagascar, we went to see our heritage in Greece and Holland and Scotland. So that was incredible for us to have those experiences.
You're quite an eccentric personality, and your mind, you're arguably Benj, and I say it often. I'm always very inspired by you. You're an inspirational person, right? So you give people a lot of freaking like you can make anything happen, baby. This is and you make people believe. But then with that territory comes your mind is sometimes here, sometimes it's there, and you'll be talking about the podcast, and 2 seconds later you're talking about the color of the shirt, and then 2 seconds later you look at the crow in the tree. You're like, geez, I want to go shoot a crow,
Yeah.
And so your mind's always is in 10 different places, and you often find that with geniuses, actually, and I'm don't
quite sure.
Don't go far to say, I'm not going far to say you're a genius, but you're pretty close. And so and I want to know if your mind's always been like that, or if it's because of these experiences and things that you're talking about that have sort of molded you into the man that you are today. But or if it's just innately in you, if it's just Benjamin Mavros.
No, I think I can answer that with a lot of clarity. I've always had a very inquiring mind.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated with so many different things in life. I love being in the outdoors. I love growing things. I love cooking. I love business. I love people. Like, people fascinate me, especially great people.
Yeah.
So if I am around any of those things, it's all about priorities in life. Where are your priorities? If your priorities are a certain thing, you're going to give it a lot more attention than you would if it's not in your priorities. So sometimes when I drift my mind, it's like I have like a subconscious has said, I'm not learning right now. I need to focus on something else where I'm learning and can be engaged, you know, and that will often be where I drift off, and then I'll start thinking about ideas or, you know, business or you know, people who I may have met that have made an influence on me recently. So I'm very fluid. I'll be talking to you 1 second.
Yeah.
Not with you, because you interest me sometimes a little bit. But I'll be talking to you, and then like I will be. Then the next second, I am like, you know, I'm in Gokwe trying to work out how to help a vendor set up a shop to sell bread.
Yeah.
That's and then I'll like teleport completely, and it's a huge problem because like sometimes my brothers are like, hey. Where are you? Snap out of my dad's like, Benjamin, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, Dad, I was in Gokwe. Come back.
Come back home, man.
Yeah, come back home. But it can be a problem as well. But
it can be a problem because sometimes people mightn't feel valued of having a conversation with you, right?
Yeah,
or not.
Yeah. No,
Do you know what I mean?
I definitely think so. I think people are like you're not giving me time of day, so you don't.
But how do you answer people that say that to you, or do you not?
I answer with like a lot of love. I say that, you know, I think unfortunately, you know, when you start to really value your time, you have to develop the ability to say no. I've always been a huge people pleaser, so I hate confrontation. I hate conflict. So I always go the easiest route. So a lot of the time, like, people want to talk to you, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to this person, but I used to kind of just
entertain
to
it.
be in conversation, which is not a healthy thing at all, you know. So I think when you put down those hard boundaries, the ability to say no, you liberate yourself, because you give yourself more time to do the stuff that means more to you. So I think now I'm a bit more, I'm blunter. I'll just say, excuse me, I'm really sorry, I've got to go, you know, or I need to chat to someone else. And then I'll be like, Mommy, have you met my mom? And then I'll duck. Yeah. But I think guys, this is Pari. Pari's a legend. Have a chat.
Yeah, but don't pass the boarding laws on to me, right?
I think it happens, but I also don't think like you need to worry too much about what others think. Just be a good person. If the person respects you,
But do you ever get to a stage where you truly and utterly don't care what someone thinks?
Oh, completely.
Do you really believe that?
I have it a lot. I like a lot.
So do you think you're quite liberated at the moment to think that I actually don't care what people around me think? I'm going to be Benjamin Mavros.
No, not necessarily I'm going to be Benjamin Mavros, but I'm going to be the best person that I can be in the now, in the present. You know, you can't identify with yourself. So I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to do what I believe is right, you know, and I can't worry about what other people think about me, because if I'm worrying about what other people think about me, I will become a product that's not me.
Yeah.
Naturally, I'll be molded into something that's not, you know, that's not my core, and I don't want that. I want to.
Amen.
Yeah, baby.
I think that's great.
Thanks so much.
I think that's great.
Thanks so much.
Your family is obviously in the silver business, okay, and your brothers work in the silver business, if I'm not mistaken. And Benjamin Mavros, the youngest boy, said, "Do you know what? I mightn't be in the silver business. I'm going to take my own path and course." I want to hear just a bit about your mindset behind that from early on. And I want to know too what are you up to later, but we'll get onto that later. But I want to know why is it you chose not to be in the family business?
So Perry, I think there's four boys in the family, 4 sons and my dad. My dad's a very strong character. My brothers are all also very strong characters, and I was extremely fortunate. I've had a privileged upbringing.
Yeah.
Which I'll always be grateful for. But one that came with huge amounts of learning and love. So it was very natural, that my upbringing. I always felt comfortable with it. That I wasn't spoilt, I was spoilt, as I said earlier, with experiences and being around amazing people. So when I got older, when I finished school, I obviously went to university, and as a young person, when you're nearing the end of like your university career, the natural question that people will pose you with is, well, what are you going to do when you finish university? And I'm like, I've got, I was like, I've got no idea. I've been jawling for 3 years. It's like the last thing. I don't want to finish university.
I want to stay forever.
But I used to, I would get my dad's clients, friends, associates, family, assuming that I would join his family, my family business. And that would, it affected me big time, because all it was saying kind of, I think the way I interpreted at the time, it was saying that you are going to jump onto your dad's
bandwagon.
His yacht, and you're going to, it's clean sailing for you out there. And I was, I didn't like that. It didn't sit well with me, because it said to myself that I can't do anything for myself in my life. I've got to get into dad's slipstream, and I couldn't live life like that. Knowing that I had it, I don't know if easy is the right word, but knowing that there was no mountains to climb.
Yes.
It was, and I wanted to climb my own mountains, and try and make my own name. And do something different out there. Have my own identity. I didn't want to be painted.
Yes.
With the same brush.
And I think you've done that, Benj. And credit to you. I think you have managed to forge your own journey, and to become your own man, if I might say. Not to say your brothers aren't or whatnot, but it's just the way you've chosen to the route you've chosen to take, which is great. I remember you once telling me a story of when you got back from uni, and you had these surge protectors, right? And you had these surge protectors, and you would go around to all your dad's sort of pals. But you would tell the story better than I can, because I think it was such a great story. If you remember telling me it once upon a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when I started, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I left university, and I said to Dad, what do I do? This big world out, this big scary world out there. Now there's this thing called work, making a living. Well, what's that? What's the kind of question that came across my desk? But he said to me, he was like, son, we have cousins. Well, obviously because we're Greek, we have some cousins, Zimbabwean Greek. We have cousins in Greece, and he said, go and meet with your cousins. There's a wonderful man called Costa Apostolidis. And Costa Apostolidis is an electrical engineer when he started his career, and he discovered a patent in an American company, which was a surge and lightning protection patent. Okay, so basically, in the most basic terms, whenever you have sensitive electrical equipment, it is susceptible to power irregularities which damage it. Now, if you're a telecommunications company or a big factory or a data center, you can't afford for your equipment to go down, because you have what's called downtime, and then you've lost revenue, etc. So he would sell, he saw this patent, and it was at the time then where technology wasn't very sensitive. So, like old school Kudara, there'd be a lightning strike, and your lights would go, and then they'd come back on, but nothing would get damaged, when we were growing up. Now you have a lightning strike, you have like a blink of lightning, and everything in the house goes kaput. So he saw this patent, and he said, this is going to be something big. I know it. So he bought the patent from the company in America. He then left the company. I mean, this is like, talk about a man following his dream. He left the company with nothing. He had some stock, he had some designs, and he went and then he started to produce it in Greece.
Okay.
and with no one, just himself. Just himself.
What a guy.
And I think today that company is worth around, it's got a turnover on 600 million euros.
Wow.
A year.
That's massive.
Yeah, it's massive. And he protects all telecommunication companies around the world. And when I said to Dad, what am I going to do? He said, go and speak to Uncle Costa. Like a good Greek. Come on, boy. Go speak to Uncle Costa.
Yeah.
So I went to Uncle Costa, and he was amazing. So he's an incredible human being because he is so abundant in his thinking. I've never quite met someone with abundance. Well, I've got a few mentors in my life, but he's definitely one of them. And he said to me, he just said, sure, go and sell our stuff in Africa. Africa is full of lightning. He said, I don't know Africa. You know Africa. I've got a good product. You've got good energy. Go and sell stuff. So I think I spent 6 years of my life selling surge and lightning protection. And I borrowed a truck from my father. It was a GWM pickup truck.
GWM?
GWM
is
pickup
that white
truck.
item
That white item. I don't know the distance. And I would drive around Zimbabwe with units, with surge protection, and I'd go like knocking. I felt like an American car salesman, you go and knock on the door and be like, no thanks. And that's what I did for 5 years, and it was amazing. So I'd go, and first thing I would do is I picked on the low-hanging fruit, which were all of mum and dad's closest and dearest friends.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone wants to support their best friend's son, I was like, you need some surge and lightning protection in your house. And then I'd hit them with the bill and be like, thank you, I'm off to the next one. So that's what.
And did you make a crumb doing that? Did it all right? Or?
Oh yeah. I mean, I sold more surge protection units than anyone else for the size of my territory. I sold more
per
than
capita.
than any of the other agents. And then I become the director of sales for Africa. I sold surge protection units everywhere. Sierra Leone, Khartoum, Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja.
Wow. Is that business still
Nairobi.
going?
Yeah, that business is still going.
Is it?
It's an amazing business, but unfortunately, I then, with that business, the technology is so great that you're as good as your last sale. Yeah. There's always going to be businesses and companies and other people that you can sell to, but I also kind of fell slightly out of love.
Out of touch.
Yeah. And I think it's very important that you're in love with what you can do. Yeah.
And then so Benj, I want to hear about your sort of business, because amongst the young people in Zim, your name does come up often, and it does come up for someone who's done well. That's someone who comes up for someone who's carrying on to do well, and I want to know a bit about your journey in your own words. Sort of, give us the blueprint, Barry. I want to know the blueprint of sort of where you went after RayCap. Was it farming? Was it trading? Was it I want to hear your path, Benj.
Yeah.
So it's quite a tough question to ask, but
not at all. I think after selling surge and lightning protection, the Zimbabwe government at the time, in an effort to accelerate the agricultural sector. So obviously, at the time we had a relatively weak agricultural sector. This is, I don't know when, 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So they offered a price. GMB offered all of the farmers in Zimbabwe a price of $390 per metric ton of maize.
Yeah.
Which was at the time 3 times the world price. And when I heard this, I didn't know how to grow chibagi. So when I heard this, I was like, oh my god! I did some basic back of the matchbox costings, and I was like, hallelujah, I'm saved. I'm gonna be a farmer. But I didn't know anything about farming. So one of my best friends, great guy called Barry Stewart.
Yeah.
I went to Barry and I said to Barry, Baz, we're going farming. And he's like, man, if you don't know how to farm, I was like, I don't, but you do. And then we spent, and it was actually amazing because it was just at a time where obviously the Zim government was just starting to open up with the idea of allowing farmers, commercial farming businesses, to go and rent, lease, go into joint ventures.
They opened it up again because it was closed.
Exactly, because it was closed, but they were very forward thinking about opening it up, because you had a lot of great people out there, great farmers that didn't have the capital, but they've had these big pieces of land, they couldn't utilize them properly. So joint venturing with the company was a smart thing to do, because if you've got a piece of land, you got to make it productive.
You're talking about the black farm owners who had farms at the time?
Yeah, so sort of after land redistribution 2000, I'm talking about, there was a good 20 years of African farmers in Zimbabwe that had been allocated pieces of land. They might not have had the finance or the know-how to make them productive.
Yeah.
So I saw that as an opportunity. And I went to the Ministry of Agriculture and I met with the minister at the time. And I said to him, I wanted to go into a joint venture. And the first farm we got was in Mangura. It was very fascinating because you go. I went to go and see the previous landowner, the whole family, and I said, "Listen, I've got this opportunity." They were amazing. They said, "You got to do it. You go. Is
that quite a common thing? So you've got to go and almost get permission from.
You don't have to get permission. It's not a necessity. It's a nicety. But out of respect, I think wherever you are in the world, you must respect all people.
Yeah.
And things happen in life. They change. So, and with change comes opportunity. So you can't go and say, like, do you have to do it? No, you don't have to do it. But you can rest easier at night. We live in a country where there's amazing people, and sometimes in the past for reasons there's been divides, but those divides, it's time. It moves forward, and you got to move forward with the times as well. You can't be stuck. If we live in the past, nothing productive will ever happen. We got to go forward together as a people.
Ben, sorry to cut you off there. Just on this point, and we can carry on. Yeah. But it's always been interesting.
It's good coffee. It's delicious.
Did you make it?
Yeah, thanks.
Good. Just something that fascinates me is why white farmers that come on now who are leasing farms from black people have to go and get permission from previous white farm owners. Okay, and if they don't do it, then they're frowned upon amongst the white farming community. And for me, I don't think it's necessary. And I might be speaking out of line and saying this, but there's a big place in my heart where I understand that people's lands and farms have been redistributed, but there comes a place yes, I understand that things have changed, and I understand the heartache that people go through. I'm not insensitive to that. What I don't necessarily agree with is why there has to be a permission to go and farm, and why are you frowned upon if you go and farm on a farm that's no longer yours, that has been redistributed, and you go and farm on it.
Yeah, so I think, to clarity there, you don't need permission. Okay, that's a fact. The land is state land now.
Correct.
So it belongs to the state of our country. But if you look at how we've been brought up, you take your kumusha. Where's the Pari? Murewa.
Yeah.
So if you go there and your sekuru's there, and he used to have a piece of land around the corner, which is idle, he no longer has access to, you wouldn't just go and do something there without his blessing.
Yes, okay.
You would go and you'd umbera and you'd say, Sekuru, please, I want to go there. This is what I want to do, etc.
Okay.
He's not getting any financial gain out of it.
Yes.
But you'll get his blessing.
And so it's a nice thing. It's a respectful
as I
thing.
said before, I don't think it's not a necessity, it's a nicety.
Okay.
And then at least you've got a clear conscience.
Yes.
But, and then you go and you make the land, you work with the new landlord, and you make it generate. You rejuvenate it. It's wonderful. It's a great thing for the country.
And you did great things around that community when you tried to build schools there. You tried to build clinics.
We did build schools.
And you did build
schools. We built clinics.
And you made the community around you, and you employed the people around you.
You have to, yeah. And what's wonderful now is a lot of from my farming days, we get a lot of the incredible hard workers who we need in businesses that we have. We bring them from those farming areas, So I've still got a relationship, even though I'm not farming anymore, with a lot of the guys that used to work with us there. You were amazing.
So carrying on, you went farming.
Yeah, so we went farming and we started,
this.
and we had 1 year where the price remained at $390 a ton, and then the next year it crashed.
Yeah.
So, and we wanted to trade potatoes at the time because the GMB governs the price of maize in the country. And I didn't want to be governed by a price, price control.
Regulation, yeah.
Yeah. So I borrowed a lot of money, and I needed to pay the money back.
How much are we talking? How much you borrow?
Yeah, for a young guy, I was pretpretty ambitious.
Yeah?
Put it that way.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But I borrowed a lot of money, Barry and I, and we needed to pay it back, and we wanted obviously to generate cash to pay it back. So we started growing potatoes on the farm. Barry was a very good potato farmer, so he would get like 70 tons of potatoes a hectare, and then we grew into probably the largest potato empire or business, whatever you want to call it, that I think the country has ever seen. I mean, I think when the time I left that business, we had 5 farms. We were producing about 56,000 tons of potatoes a year per annum, all throughout the year, which had never been done before.
56,000 tons.
Yeah, 56,000 tons.
Red soil potatoes.
Red jecha. Yeah, baba, any matapuri, baby.
That's a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, it's a lot of spuds, and then we would go and we'd have for the first time like big contracts with Pick and Pay, and then my favorite market was Mbare Musika.
Cash, baby.
Cash, and then also just great traders, like proper traders. Zimbabweans are phenomenally good business people, you know. And it's lovely to do people, not to keep everything like controlled by few. It's nice to go and give product to the people.
Spread it out.
Let everyone have access to the product. Let everyone be able to trade the product.
You once told me that the business is like a pie, Pari. It's like a cake.
You gotta eat, baby.
It's like a cake. And I don't want, if you put a cake in front of me, I don't want the whole cake. I'll even just get the crumbs around me. And soon enough, if you build enough crumbs, you're going to build yourself a cake.
Yeah.
And I've always loved that analogy. And I first heard it from you, which I thought was a great analogy.
Yeah.
So you started selling potatoes.
So we started selling a lot of potatoes in Mbari, and then it came to I sold that business to my partners in the business, Barry and a company called PHI.
Yeah.
And then I never forget, I was with a girl who I worked very close with, Siobhan. And when we left...
We love you, Siobhan. You're a star.
You're a star. You're a rock star.
Yeah.
I love you guys too. Yeah. So Siobhan was... and I walked into the office, and obviously when we sold the company, we sold all the assets. So we didn't have desks. We didn't have a fridge. We didn't have a TV in the office. Nothing. Luto, papa, luto. So she looked at me and she was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, we're gonna go shopping. So we went to TV sales and hire, and we bought fridges, we bought desks, we bought sofas, and then we made a nest, we made a base, and that's what we went back there, and then we started. We used to trade masks. It wasn't sort of like COVID was coming, wasn't it?
I remember that.
Yeah, I used to trade
Do you remember
masks.
I made an advert for you with lifting up a little boy, Clean air.
Clean air.
Do you remember?
We sold 15,000 masks,
You do well.
Which really kept us going for a few months. But then I've got a phone call from a family friend of ours, who's a beautiful man, great guy. And he said to me, Benji, I know you know how to sell potatoes. Can you help me sell rice? And I was like, yeah, I can sell rice. Of course I can sell rice. So we went and we started trading rice. Because I had these Mbari connections and I could hustle in the hood, I'd go into Mbari and I'd be like, boys, we ain't selling potatoes anymore. We're selling rice. And then we made Mr. Rice, which is our rice brand, which is the Zimbabwe's most beloved rice brand. What am I going to say?
Come on,
Mr. Rice is always nice, at the right price. But and funny enough, last year we won a prize for the best ghetto brand in Zimbabwe.
Was that actually the name of the brand?
The best ghetto brand, so Mr. Rice.
Mr. Rice, baby.
Mr. Rice, and Mr. Rice is we kept it very simple. It's not a complicated market, Zimbabwe. Our whole kind of philosophy was give the customer consistency, give them a good quality product, pack it beautifully. You know, I always say, even though like the end user might not have a lot of disposable income, give him the respect that when you're presenting him with something to eat, to share with him and his family, it's beautifully packed and it's affordable. So it gives them something happy to think of throughout the day. You know, don't give it to them in a bad packet. I just think that's very cheap and small-minded. So we started with Mr. Rice, and then Mr. Rice quickly became, we can sell up to 4,000 metric tons of rice a month now, and we sell it in the ghetto.
Is that how much you're moving of it?
Yeah, on a good month.
Jeez, that's good, eh?
Yeah, but it comes up and down. You know, business it's not always
rose and
sailing.
daisies.
Yeah, so we have Mr. Rice, and then we launched new brands. We got a Mr. Salt. We've got Mr. Crush, which is a juice that's coming. Our cooking oil brand's called Mr. Mafuta.
Mr. Mafuta.
Yeah, chiboy baba.
So you're really catering for the people, for the masses.
That's what
for the people of Zimbabwe.
Yeah, that's what I love.
And giving them an affordable product. That's
exactly. I just couldn't think of going in, and I used to say to myself, I was like, why is every family not able to eat rice?
Yeah.
Right? Well, isn't that like...
No, it should be...
You know what I mean? Everyone must have the luxury of choice when it comes to shopping. And we can make the product affordable. And that's the great thing about my partners that I have, is that they are all about making product affordable for the people of Zimbabwe. Okay, so it's...
whilst obviously making a small margin.
You have to, everyone has to, it's the crumbs around the cake. You don't have to make a lot. If you make the good product, and the world will come and take it from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and don't be greedy. Never be greedy. Greed is a terrible thing.
Where's greed? Like, how would you define greed? How would you define greed in your mind?
For me, that's like easy to define greed. Greed is someone that if you're hunting and you make a kill, right? Whoever has assisted you to make that kill needs to share in the feast.
Yeah.
The portion that you will eat will differ according to who's who in the pecking order.
Yeah.
But allow everyone to share with you. And that can be from the vendor that is making a living on the street corner, to the distribution company, to the wholesaler, to the person that's downpacking the product, to the person that's importing it from wherever the product's coming from.
Yes.
Everyone needs to eat. So an abundant people will allow everyone to have their fair share. A greedy person will say, I'm having all of it, and I'm going to allow that vendor to make 1 cent a unit. Now, for me, that's greed. That's the guy on the street corner he's trading day to day to survive. Don't be greedy. Let him make enough to keep coming back, and also to because if you're looking after that guy, then that guy's going to be able to feed his family.
Yeah.
And when he can feed his family from your product, he's going to be like, wow, I'm moving forward in life. And if all of these positive things are coming to him, he says, today I'm not going to sell 1 loaf of bread or 1 packet of rice. I'm going to sell 2.
Yes.
And then his wife might come and help him in his business. So all the time it's growing and it's expanding. And I think what we like to focus on how can we make our end users' life better?
Yeah.
How can we grow their business for them? Because if they're winning,
then you're winning.
I'm winning, honey. I'm winning. So that's where our focus is we want wonderful partner. And when we say what's a wonderful partner, I mean, a partner for us is someone on the street corner selling. And I respect them as much as I respect a huge corporate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's...
I'm a strong believer, Benj, of money. Money makes you more of who you are. So if you are a generous person before you get money, and you get money, you're going to be extremely generous. And if you're a greedy person before you get money, if you're a stingy and a cheat before you get money, after you get money, you'll be a greedy, stingy and a cheat. And I just think money highlights it just accentuates our character, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I think a lot of people go after money for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I think also when you're younger, you say, what's success at getting rich? Money then becomes, you kind of, when that is lost, that hunger for money, where it's not the driver, where the driving force behind you waking up every day is to provide for your family and to make the country that you live in a better country and to help people around you and businesses around you, That's like real growth, you know. So
you're empowering.
Yeah, you're empowering, and also you're leaving something behind. The problem with a lot of Zimbabwe businesses is it's too transactional. So Zim is very much a transactional economy. Very few people want to like deploy capital into this country, to reinvest in this country. They want to do a quick trade. You take their $5 and run.
But why do you think that is?
That's a psychology.
Or is it because people don't have trust in investing in this system?
Yeah, well, you know, what is trust? You like take Zimbabwe recently. I mean, how many? I was chatting about it with some our team in the last 2 days. But like how many more quick service restaurants in Zimbabwe? How many more fuel stations do you see in Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
I mean, how many more like supermarkets are you seeing?
Yeah.
So definitely our appetite for risk in Zimbabwe is much higher than someone. If you were in England and you were like, I need $2 million to invest in Zimbabwe, they'd be like,
having a laugh.
But for us, it's our country, it's our home. So, you know, we're ready to do stuff like that, and I think there's been a lot of good in Zimbabwe.
It's very positive.
Criticism is easy. Comment is like easy. It's so easy for you to comment and say, the light's not working.
Yeah.
But who's commenting on all the good stuff?
Amen.
Unfortunately, like negative stuff sells. So like people always talk negative stuff, but very few people are talking about the good stuff, you know. And there's a lot. The economy is growing in Zimbabwe. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, it is big time.
Massively.
Freedom to trade in Zimbabwe. Is someone stopping you from opening a business?
No.
No. You can have a business today, tomorrow. You can do whatever you want in Zimbabwe. So the opportunity here is huge.
And you can
if
see
you have the right psychology. If you're
Yeah.
negative and you're going to complain about what's happened and this, I don't think you're not going to get far.
But how do you appease someone who is getting into a combi at 5 a.m. in the morning with everyone else around him, and he's going to work for $2 a day? How do you make that person happy? How do you appease someone who's going to graft a long day's work and coming home and he's not earning what he's worth? How do you make someone like
that happy? What, you mean at work? At our workplace?
Work, or just no. I'm just talking as a country in general now, right? So how do you appease those people? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, does that question make sense? I think it. How do you appease them? Like, how do you make them? So I think everyone.
How do you make them not complain? Is what I'm saying. Is basically off the back of what you said. How does someone like that not complain? How do you manage to keep a positive mindset?
Listen, first of all, I think Zimbabweans are naturally very happy people, right?
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, African black Zimbabweans are the nicest people in the world for me. They're friendly. They're inviting. We went to see some caves with Bushman paintings, some of the most beautiful Bushman paintings in Zimbabwe. This is in the previous rainy season. And I was driving my car and we were like proper deep kumusha, papa. Like, going through these rivers and rocks. And there's an old peanut field, Nzungu field, which had like been tilled because it was rainy season, so people were getting ready to plant. And there was one small hut, okay? And then there was the mountain behind it. And I was like, I'm just going to rush across the field to get to... But I drove into the field and we just sank, sank properly. So anyway, we said, I don't want to. We will get out later. Let's go see the rock paintings. This is 10 in the morning. We got back at 1 after seeing the rock paintings. The car was deeper than it was before, and we were stuck. No cell phone signal, nothing. And all there was this extremely poor. I mean, when I mean poor, this family, and the children hardly have clothes on. They're sort of strung together and tied together, old pieces of fabric. And we sent a message like Bush Telegraph because there was a tractor at another farm like 15 k's away, okay? Where this little kid just ran, to get the tractor. The tractor, anyway, arrived at 8 o'clock at night to pull us out. So, I mean, where on earth do you find that?
Yeah, you don't.
Then we're sitting by the car, cold, no food, no nothing, and this old Ambuya comes and says, come join us for dinner. And we sat inside her hut, okay? It's like smoke, in those huts.
Yeah, where they cook inside, yeah?
Boss. And she made a meal of sadza, she had some derere, and she killed a turkey. Okay.
For you, how amazing is that?
For us, which is amazing. And I saw the chicken coop, but there was only like 2 turkeys in there. Okay, so she was negative a turkey.
She was giving you the clothes off the back.
And she treated us like we were royalty. Now, okay, you break down here on a street corner and go and knock at the first house and see if someone's going to let you in and cook you dinner. Are they going to do that?
No, probably not.
So the first thing is going back to your question, how do you make... First of all, Zimbabweans are happy people. You got to be a happy person to be able to invite someone in like that to your house. Big time.
Yeah.
100%.
Love that mentality, Ben. Yeah.
You got to be very generous people, Zimbabweans. Extremely generous. And I think that even though I say, how do you appease someone? I think naturally, even at that level, they are happier than a lot of other people in the world at that level. But believe me. So you can't say how you're going to appease that guy on the street. I think all you can say is, what can I do?
What can I do to make it better around me?
There's things that you can't control in life, but what can you control as a person? So I know that all I can control is I can give the oak a big smile, which I like to do all the time.
Yeah.
I can greet him properly. It's amazing just by greeting someone in the morning, how he responds to you, because you change his whole day. Okay, they're going to be like, Jesus, shit, that why they just smiled at me, right? You know? Yeah. When I drive past or when I stop. So that's the first thing. Greet people, smile. It like stimulates the other person's mind. Say, wow, there's a nice person out there who just smiled and said hi to me. Yeah. That's like a big up for the day, you know? You're going to feel better when you start. So I always do that. My dad always taught me that. Always respect everyone, huh? Everyone. Greet people at a door. Greet a gardener. Greet a maid. There's a great saying, you walk with kings but never lose the common touch. So it doesn't matter who you are in the world, how rich you are or famous you are, anything like that, just be decent.
Be a good bloke.
Just be a good guy.
Just be a good bloke.
Be a nice guy.
It takes nothing from your day. Just be a good
100%. So yeah, I've tried to answer your question.
No, you've answered it perfectly. I love that. Thank you.
You know, change starts with you. Yeah. There's no point in going cussing everyone else, saying, "Oh, how am I going to make this guy happy?" Just stop by making yourself happy.
And then now from your trading, you've got into bread, Ben.
Yeah, from trading. So we've got our rice business, and I have the honor, Pari, of representing a great institution called Bakers Inn.
Okay.
And I'm responsible for delivering a delicious, freshly baked loaf to every Zimbabwean household across this beloved country of ours.
What?
Yeah, baby. That's what I do every day.
Bakers Inn. I love it. And so and we've seen
Bakers Inn, better taste, more value.
We've seen the change of quality of loaf in Bakers Inn.
Thank you very much.
This isn't even a plug or an advert that you said to me for me to do, but no. I have genuinely tasted the quality of bread of Bakers Inn from what it was a year ago to what it is today.
Thank you.
And you can taste that there's been a bit more care and love put into the loaf of bread of Bakers Inn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And lasts longer. It's
great
to eat.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy to really spread peanut butter and jelly. Even just
we want buttercup.
So Ben, what's your role at Bakers Inn now?
So I'm the COO at Bakers Inn Sales and Distribution. So I'm responsible for distributing the bread across the country and making sure that it's delivered on time to our customers. And it's been a huge experience, massive, huge learning curve. Work with a lot of great people, so I'm extremely lucky.
What have some challenges been over? We're going to wrap up very soon now, Ben. But I want to just hear what some of the challenges or some of the sort of just throughout your life, okay? A couple hurdles or point in life that you said, geez, that's unlocked me. Just something that you've got down and you've got back up again, because I think it's just great for people to know that it's not always roses and daisies, because the way you've described it, and I'm not saying that there hasn't been any tough times, but it would just be great to know.
Buddy.
Yeah, I would love to know about some of them. I'd love to know about one.
I've lost a lot of money before. Not my money, someone else's money.
And how does it feel losing someone else's money?
It's like the worst thing in the entire world. Because when someone believes in you, and I said earlier, like I'm a pleaser. I love acknowledgement. Not so much anymore, but I think
But I don't think it's wrong to love acknowledgement, even though you don't care what people think.
It's not wrong at all. But I think I lost a lot of money. Someone trusted me, and I think a terrible thing is to like break someone's trust. But so that like really bruised me. It knocks your confidence. But if you are a person that doesn't get up and learn from that experience and that failure, because you look at all the super, rock stars of the world. You look at like Dwayne Johnson and all those, the Rock.
Yeah, the Rock.
You look at all those guys and all these hugely successful people, these people that have changed lives and changed the dial, the way that the world works, the Elon Musks, and those guys have got one failure after another failure after another failure after another failure. So if you think you're going to make it and you're going to be like cooking on gas, you are so wrong and far removed. Are
you willing to share a story about how you lost money? Because you might not have to go about details, but it's just
I remember just like giving people stuff on credit.
Yeah.
And trusting, being too trusting of people. I'm a believer, I'll be like, yeah, you'll pay me the money back, right? You can give it back to me next week, right? Okay, you can take the product, you can go. And then, hey, Pari, where are you? Beep, beep, beep. So I think just being like way too trusting with some people. But apparently, as I said, all big learning curves. You got to learn quickly. If you're learning quickly, then you can move, buddy. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Benj, I think, like I said earlier, you're a massive inspiration to the young people of this country. And thank you for coming on the show. It's great to have your support. It's great to have you come and tell your story and give people a little bit of an insight about who you are and what your journey has been. But just before we go, if you've got any pieces of advice, wisdom, parting words to give to the people, this is your camera here, Benj.
That's my camera.
That's your camera.
Camera that.
Yeah.
I like that camera.
But I would love for you to just, if you've got anything, and you mightn't have anything to say, which is fine. But if you do have something to say, would love for you to leave us with that.
I think Pari, obviously, thanks so much for having me. Great to be with you. I'm extremely proud of everything that you've done. But I think just the only thing I can say is that to work extremely hard. Never give up. Follow your dream always. Be the best person that you can be. Always just be the best person that you can be. When you get to bed at night, a great mentor in my life says, hang yourself up to dry. Put yourself up on the laundry line and say, did I do the best that I could have done today? You got to live like today's your last day. Huh? You got to go for it, the full.
Yeah.
So work as hard as you can. Be honest. Be a good person, and no matter what it is that you do, if you're a wait in a restaurant, or you're a gardener, or you're a hairdresser, or a businessman, or whatever you are, just be the very best. I keep saying to people, if you're going to be a cook, if you're cooking fried eggs, cook the best fried eggs that you can cook. What is the point in cooking a shitty fried egg?
Yeah.
Really put your all into it. And be the very best, and always have an open mind. Try and learn all the time. Don't think you know everything, because you know nothing. We know nothing.
Yeah,
we've got to add to ourselves all the time. So that's my just and enjoy it.
Enjoy.
Life's a roller coaster, baby. You got to have a good time. It's too short.
Well, there you have it, folks. Benjamin Mavros delivering the goods. Hey, mate, thanks so much for coming on.
Buddy.
You're a great man.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, love your work.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kazi. Peace and love, baby.